The sound of clinking silverware and soft jazz floated through La Lumière, the most exclusive restaurant in the city. People waited months to get a reservation here. And those lucky enough to dine inside always bragged about it, to their friends, their co-workers, and their social media followers. But tonight the restaurant was quiet. The storm outside had scared away half the guests, except the powerful ones. And trouble always came dressed in expensive heels. At table 7 sat Victoria Langford, heiress to the Langford real estate empire. She wore diamonds that didn't glitter, they announced. Her fur coat still rested on the velvet seat, her designer handbag sitting arrogantly beside her martini glass. Across from her sat a younger woman, clearly uncomfortable, keeping her head down like she had been dragged there against her will. Sarah approached the table, pen and notepad in hand, her dark brown hair tied in a simple ponytail. She wore no jewelry, no makeup, just the simple black and white uniform of a waitress. "Good evening," Sarah greeted warmly. "Are we ready to order?" Victoria didn't look up. Instead, she waved her hand dismissively. "We've been sitting here 10 minutes. Took you long enough?" Sarah smiled politely. "My apologies, ma'am. We're short-staffed tonight due to the weather." "Excuses!" Victoria snapped. "That's what poor people do. Just get the order right." Sarah's jaw tightened, but she kept her composure. She had dealt with rude customers before. People who believed kindness was beneath them. "What would you like?" Sarah asked. Victoria smirked cruelly. "I'll have the filet mignon, medium rare, and make sure it's actually cooked correctly. Last time I came here, the server messed it up. Probably someone like you. Little nobody waitress too lazy to care." Sarah wrote it down silently. "And for you, miss?" The younger woman spoke quietly, barely audible. "Just, the pasta primavera, please." Victoria scoffed. "She'll have the lobster." "Don't listen to her. People like her don't know what's good." "People like her." The phrase struck a nerve, and Sarah noticed the girl flinch. She opened her mouth gently. "I'd like to confirm, did you want the pasta or the lobster?" The girl opened her mouth, but Victoria cut her off. Did I stutter? "She'll have the lobster?" Sarah's expression didn't change. "Certainly. I'll put that in." As Sarah turned to leave, Victoria's voice chased her. "And hurry up. If I wanted slow service, I'd go to a street food stand." In the kitchen, Sarah handed the order to the chef. Her co-worker Lena approached, frowning. "You okay?" she asked. Sarah sighed. "Table 7. Lena made a face. "Oh no. Is that woman giving you trouble?" "Nothing I can't handle," Sarah said with a nod. "But I'm keeping an eye on her." Lena hesitated, then whispered, "You sure you don't want to tell her who you are?" Sarah shook her head. "Not yet, because Sarah Bennett didn't just work at La Lumière. She owned it. The restaurant had been her late father's dream. But after inheriting his business empire, she stepped away from the boardrooms and wealth. She didn't want people treating her differently. Working as a waitress grounded her, reminded her what hard work really looked like. But sometimes, people made it difficult. And if you're still watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, because this isn't the last story you'll hear from inside La Lumière. When Sarah returned to table 7 with bread and water, she found Victoria complaining again, loudly. "What kind of place is this? This napkin has a wrinkle, and the water isn't cold enough. God, do you people not have standards?" Sarah placed the tray down carefully. "I can bring fresh water if you'd like, ma'am." "No," Victoria sneered. "You'll probably mess that up, too." She leaned closer, voice dripping with malice. "Let me guess. You dropped out of school, didn't you?" Ended up as a nobody, serving tables for minimum wage. Should have worked harder. Sarah's expression didn't change, but something in her eyes froze cold. Before she could reply, Victoria continued, "The world needs people like you, though. Someone has to serve the elite." Sarah simply nodded. "I'll be back with your meals." Back in the kitchen, Chef Marco pulled her aside. "Sarah, I think someone is messing with that table." She frowned. "What do you mean?" Marco pointed to a waiter by the bar who was nervously talking to Victoria. She slipped him $100 to mess with your service, to make you look incompetent. Sarah didn't react. Marco whispered, "You want me to get security?" Sarah looked through the kitchen window at Victoria, laughing smugly while her companion stared, down at her plate in discomfort. "No," Sarah said quietly. "I'll handle this myself." Dinner arrived, and as expected, Victoria found a problem. "Excuse me," she snapped. "This steak is too cold." Sarah calmly checked it. "It's actually still steaming." "Are you calling me a liar?" Victoria barked. Other guests were now watching. Sarah's voice stayed level. "Of course not. I'll have it remade for you." Victoria smirked victoriously. "And while you're at it, send someone competent." Sarah gave a small smile. "Certainly." She turned and walked straight to the center of the dining room. She snapped her fingers once. The entire staff gathered instantly, servers, managers, even the kitchen staff. Sarah faced them, then spoke clearly. "Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for my delay in joining you tonight," she said, and to everyone's shock, the staff stood straighter. Respectfully, like soldiers. Victoria frowned. Sarah continued, "I'm officially stepping out of undercover service for the evening." Then she turned, eyes directly on Victoria. "My name is Sarah Bennett," she said. "I am the owner of La Lumiere." The room fell silent. Victoria froze, her arrogance draining from her face instantly. "I created this restaurant to honor my father," Sarah said calmly. "This place stands for respect, no matter who you are. I will not tolerate anyone demeaning my staff, or my guests." She leaned in slightly. "And no amount of money makes you better than anyone here." Victoria turned pale. I didn't know." "You didn't care to know," Sarah corrected. Victoria opened her mouth, but Sarah lifted a hand. "You are no longer welcome here. Please leave." Gasps erupted across the restaurant. The quiet girl at the table looked at Sarah with admiration. Victoria stood furious but defeated. "This isn't over," Victoria hissed. "Oh, it is," Sarah replied. "Escort them out." Security arrived. The guests applauded. As Victoria stormed out, someone recorded the moment. Phones were pointed. Cameras flashed. Sarah turned to the diners and smiled. "Now that that's over, let's enjoy dinner." She looked into the nearest phone camera and said, smiling,